Hi everybody, back in Mama G's pantry after a well-deserved day off. So the other day I made molten lava chocolate cake and had 3 egg whites left over, so I thought today I would use those up and make a delicious dish called Pavlova. This is like a meringue, but it's really crusty and crunchy on the outside and it's like chewy marshmallow on the inside. And it's not even very fattening. In our family, my oldest daughter Megan called it heaven. She was like, "Mom, can you please make heaven?" Which often made her friends go, "I didn't know you're religious." Anyway, it's a delicious dish. Said it is named after the ballerina Anna Pavlova, famous Russian ballerina. And apparently when she visited and did a tour of Australia and New Zealand in the 1920s, this was made for her after a particularly great performance. Apparently these two countries have been fighting over who served it to her first ever since. In New Zealand, when they opened their National Museum in 1999, they made a Pavzilla, 45 meters long. Not to be outdone, the Aussies in 2005 made a Pav Kong, which was 65 meters long. We're going to make a nice little one, probably feed 6 to 8 people, and it's really very simple. Mostly involves beating eggs. So the ingredients are my 3 egg whites left over from my lava cake. I need a cup of caster sugar. Now caster sugar is not normal sugar, it's superfine sugar. In the States I think it's labeled superfine. Here in Canada I believe berry sugar is very, very fine sugar. And we want to use that because it's going to dissolve into the egg white so we don't have a chewy marshmallow inside. So to make here, I don't ever buy that, and it's an important ingredient in my shortbread. I just make it myself. I have this lovely little blender I use all the time. I put a cup of sugar in there and whiz it up. And believe it or not, it makes it really fine. So I need a cup of sugar. There we go. 3/4 of which is going to go into my egg whites. And I'm just going to start this. Something you should know about egg whites is, well, I like to do them cold. These have been in the fridge for a couple of days, so they're cold. Your bowl and your beaters have to be really clean and dry. If you have the littlest bit of egg yolk in that egg white, it's not going to poof up. If you use a plastic bowl, you should use glass or metal. Plastic bowl could have remnants, say, of that cream and sugar or butter and sugar we cream together in so many of our recipes. If there's a trace of fat in there, your egg whites aren't going to whip up. And because that's the essence of the recipe, you kind of want that. So I'm going to put in my egg whites, and you just start beating them, just a little bit of sugar, salt for a bit of taste. And then you start whipping them to get them foamy, and then the way you add the sugar is 1 tablespoon at a time. That's the best way. You've got to make sure that sugar is melted. So I'm just going to get this a little foamy, and I start adding 1 tablespoon at a time. So this whole process of these 3 egg whites could take 4 or 5 minutes, a tablespoon at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and have a look when they're all stiff and ready to go. All right, folks, so we have stiff egg whites. I've put 3/4 of a cup of the fine caster sugar in there and whipped it till it stands on its own. I saved 1/4 of a cup of the sugar, my cup here, and now I'm adding a tablespoon of cornstarch. And this, sometimes cream of tartar is used. There has to be something acidic and something that equalizes the pavlova just so it doesn't fall down, I guess. So I'm just going to gently pour this over my egg whites. 1/4 cup, tablespoon of cornstarch, and then a teaspoon of lemon juice for my acid. Okay, now we're going to fold this. We've folded before. It really means folding. But you want to make sure everything gets in there. It's a little harder because everything is white. Take a few minutes. And just make sure you can't see any more sugar. Get that lemon juice all the way through. Look how shiny it is. Just lovely. Okay, so when we're fairly sure it's all mixed, I'm fairly sure. It's important to mix it thoroughly. I've got a little stun. Make sure you get right to the bottom because flour or the baking soda, the cornstarch and sugar will like to go down there. Okay, let's call that finished. So now on my pan that I have put my target on, we're just going to put all of that on there. All of it. Okay. Then we're going to fold it out. Make a nice circle. You don't have to meet the lines. In fact, what we want to do is almost leave like a little groove in the middle. A little higher on the sides than in the middle. You can use your spoon, or some people might pipe it to make it look pretty, but you all know my piping skills. So I'm just going to spread that out. Should be about 9 inches. Alright, and the fun thing about this stuff is like if you do this, it'll all bake up sort of in that shape. But it has to be really slow bake now. So we're going to put it in a 300 degree oven for an hour. And that's no peeking. Don't let any drafts in. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit when it's done. Hi there. Okay, so my pavlova has been in the oven 300 degrees for an hour. Now it's a good idea to turn your oven off and then just let it sit in there. In fact, some meringues you make will say turn off your oven and let it sit overnight. Well, I don't have time for that, so out comes our pavlova. Oh, and you can see it's got a beautiful golden color. All those little swirls I made with my spatula are there. Now you want to cool this completely to room temperature, okay? Hopefully, like I say, it's nice and crispy on the outside and nice and kind of almost chewy on the inside. Now for a true pavlova, to finish it, you would fill the middle with a big amount of whipped cream and then traditionally strawberries on top, just sliced up, but you can put any fruit on there. You could do peaches, you could do blueberries, anything at all, and then cut it up and eat it. Well, the thing is, once you put that whipping cream and berries on, you pretty much have to eat it right away or it's going to turn into a rather gooey mess. So tonight, Doug and I will wait until it cools and we'll cut ourselves some pieces and finish it with whipped cream and strawberries. And unless somebody wants to do a drive-by, I'm going to save the rest. A great use for meringue is also a dish called Eton mess. Originated in the boys' school, presumably in the 19th century. I think what happened was they dropped their pavlova on the floor because what happened was a mixture of broken up meringue, strawberries, and whipping cream apparently got picked up off the floor, put into bowls. They didn't want to waste good food, these school lads. And they just mashed it all up and said, Eton mess. It's still made all around the world today, and it is delicious. So if you drop your pavlova, hopefully not, you could do that. Or if you have leftover, try an Eton mess. So there you go, Megan, honey. Heaven. You too can make it. Bye.